5th Annual Talladega County High School Basketball Media Day here at the Talladega County Board of Education. Up next, we have the Munford High School Lions. Lady Lions are represented by head coach Josh Thompson in his second year. Player representatives are Valerie Moore and Malia Carlisle. Almost got it. As for the boys, we have Coach Michael Easley. Player representatives we have Kadera Holland and Richard Russell. They opened the season, both teams did, last week against Weaver. Boys are 1-0, the girls are 0-1. Next game will be Thursday night against Pale City in Pale City. Lions compete in Class 5A, Area 7.
Coaches, just talk about the young ladies, the young men that you got with you today.
All right, Mallory Moore was our lead scorer last year. She's a 10th grader. And Malia is a new player on the team, but she's a senior. She's the only senior we have, and we look for her leadership in the locker room and on the court.
All right, two players I have here, Richard Russell to my immediate left, junior guard for us, going to handle the ball a lot for us, played receiver for us in football. So I've had him now since August. Kadera Holland, told him I was going to bring him because I'm giving him an early start on this presidential run in 20 years because I've been telling everybody he's going to be the president of the United States in 20 years. So, and I'm going to vote for it. So brought these two young men with us. Both are Kadera was a sophomore, Richard's a junior. Both of them played basketball last year. Yeah, both played basketball last year. Both played football for me this year.
Now, why would you say that? And you know you're going to have to say something about him saying you're going to be the president. Why would just what kind of person is it?
Oh man, he's got such a level head. I mean, he studies politics. I think is the easiest way to say it. But he's got the kid's got a level head on him. He can look at stuff and decipher what's what and what's there's a lot of fake stuff in the media nowadays with politics, and he can look beyond the crap, I guess I should say, and see the truth and light. Just got a level head on his shoulders, but he studies politics, and we talk politics a lot. I think one Friday we sat in there after, I think it was senior night, so the seniors were back in, and or seniors on the field, we were back in at 6:30, and I think we spent about 15 minutes talking, me and him and one of the coaches talking politics in the office right before we went out and played football games. So, but I'm the one I've been telling him, he's 20 years from now, I'm gearing him up for his presidential run.
Okay, your rebuttal? Is that, you really like that kind of stuff?
Yes, sir, I do. I never realized how really fun that really is until one of my teachers, my history teacher, Coach Schneider, who's also a coach on our coaching staff, until he really started breaking all the stuff down to us in class one day, and then I really thought it was a thing that I would actually like to study and look at. So once I started doing that, it was just second nature really, and I really loved it.
Do you running for class president and all that other kind of stuff?
I haven't done any of that really, but as far as studying actual politics and stuff, that's actually fun to me. I like it a lot.
All right, now from a 10th grader is 15 years old?
16.
All right, from a 16-year-old's perspective, what is wrong with this country right now?
Right now, I would have to say the insensitivity of how everybody cannot take constructive criticism is what I would say. You sit up here and you like to tell the truth, but when it comes down to it, if that person doesn't want to hear that because they don't agree with it, then they're not going to look forward and look at that as a necessary threat to them because they disagree with you.
That's a really good answer, by the way. And he was not prepared. He was not prepared for the question.
Especially from a coach who's going to criticize you all the time, you want to be the president?
I'm not really. I don't know, to be honest. But that's just kind of something he threw at me one day. I thought about it, but it's just not. It's really not on my radar right now. But if it comes down to it, and it's something that I can end up possibly doing, I'll do it.
Well, to bring it back to what we're talking about today, what is on your radar is basketball. And you guys won your first game of the year, which hadn't happened often in that basketball program. So what did winning the other night against Weaver do for you, confidence-wise, to get you moving forward? Both of you guys can talk about that.
Getting our first victory is, I think that's a first stepping point, because with basketball, you got to do it little by little. You got to take it one game at a time, like extremely. And with Coach Easley coming in this year, he brings this nice little old school vibe back to the game, and a very strict discipline in the way our play style is. And I think that's going to help us in the long run beat some teams that we shouldn't beat.
Richard, what do you think about getting
I think it's a good thing. We got some confidence coming into the next game, which is really important for her. So that's a good standpoint.
And Michael, what did it mean to you? Because it was your first one as a head coach. You kind of took the basketball as not that as an addition to the football field. So man, a lot of time you got your first one.
Yeah, it's like I told you the other night on April 22nd, when I was sitting here, got approved as football coach. That wasn't the initial plan, but it worked out. More Mr. Taylor started talking about it, during late spring and early summer. Really late spring, it made sense across the board for us. And of course, I was going to coach basketball somewhere. I didn't care what team I was going to coach it. I didn't care if it was junior high. I was going to coach something, because you know me, you've been covering our games for years. That's just what I do. I was going to be a football, basketball guy. I was going to coach it. So it just made a lot of sense to do it. But I was happy. But at the end of the day, it's like I told you after the game the other night, wins are great right now, but we have much larger goals in mind. We want to change the culture of this basketball program, and that's been my message to the players really from day one. And it's got to change. We're one thing athletically, we're across the board. If we put jerseys on, we want to compete in it. We want to be good at it. So I don't care what sport we're playing, we want to be good at it. So we're trying to change the culture, because quite honestly, it hasn't been great. So that's the first thing we're trying to do. If we get wins out of it, that's great. We're worried about getting better every week. Good thing about basketball, you win one game, you're in playoffs, for every tournament. So, in fact, we did that last year. We had a down year and then ended up beating Weaver in the area tournament to go to the playoffs. So we just want to improve every week. If we get wins along the way, that's great. But we just want to improve.
And then last thing for me, when you just speak to kind of player Cadario, I would assume with we've been talking about, is he a point guard?
He's actually not. He's the size of a point guard, but he has to play the post for us, because we don't have any length. And he's a very headsy player. He'll get down there and he tries to defend the right way. He's boxing out. He understands body position, and he's extremely undersized to play in the position he's playing for us. But we have no choice. Richard's one that he's got to handle the ball a lot. I put a lot of pressure on him, just even dating back to the summer. I put a lot of pressure on him with the ball in his hand, and he's got to play off the ball some too. We have another guard that can handle the ball pretty good, and Richard needs to be able to shoot the ball for us some this year. So he's going to play off the ball some, but he's also, really our 1 and 2 are interchangeable. Everything we do, I can't really think of anything we run that our 1 and 2 is not interchangeable. And he's a guy that we believe in with the ball in his hand, but we've also we've got to move him off the ball and get some shots some too. So. He's going to be a guy he's going to score for us, and he's going to defend, and with that defending, he's going to stay in foul trouble, because we really can't afford. I don't have many ball handlers, so we can't afford to get in foul trouble from that spot. So I'm going to have to be very selective on our matchups as far as who I'm putting our ball handlers on the defensive end, and make sure for somebody that attacks the rim a lot, I'm going to put another guy that's not handling the ball for us. I'm going to put him on just to try to keep those guys out of foul trouble.
Coach Easley, what's the biggest challenge playing in the area that you're having to play in, aside from having to go against the 6'10" guys?
The way I look at it, and I'm not going to, Silvertop is the best team in the area. So, realistically, if you're looking at things, they should win the area. They should win all 4 games in the area on paper anyway. It comes down, because it's funny you ask that, because I was really trying to think, how to kind of play the season. We got Clay Central, and at the end of the day, those 2 games mean nothing to us other than just get better. So as a coach, and he's going to be fighting the same thing in Clay Central, we've got to make sure that whatever we do, if there's something, as coaches, if there's something extra you want to run off a set, or there's something that, you can get some cheap points with, you may not want to run that during the regular season. You may want to save it for the area tournament because at the end of the day, that's the only game of the 3 that matters. We're basically playing for jersey color in the other 2. Now for us, we're trying to get better every day. So I don't want to make it out that the game doesn't matter. But as far as like X and O's go, schematically what you're doing, you really got to prioritize which game is more important of the 3. And at the end of the day, it's going to be that area tournament, assuming things go the way they should on paper.
Coach Thompson, talk about your team, man. You guys had a chance to win that area, came up a little short last year. Just talk about what you guys will accomplish this year.
So we lost 4 of our starters from last year, and we have 4 upperclassmen this year, so we have 8 underclassmen. We have a very young team, a lot more speed this year, so we're really trying to go back to fundamentals, learning the game of basketball, and we're treating this, just like Coach said, every game is a learn for us. It's kind of our mentality. No matter what, we're going to learn from it, and we're going to get better. And I mean, the expectation is the same, regardless of the numbers I have on the court or the girls on the bench. We're going to compete in the area, and we're trying to win the area in the regular season and host the area tournament and go to the playoffs.
Your second year, what can you take away from your first year that helped you this year?
Just staying focused and again, not worry about your schedule or the outcome of the score. Focus on the process. Focus on every day getting better in the gym, every day going to workouts, and really just continuity amongst the girls in the locker room, because leadership is one thing that is something that has to kind of form on its own, and you've got to try to encourage it by giving a good environment to do that.
How do you replace you lost your big girl, the very talented player from last year? How do you guys replace that, or who do you need to step up to take that role as a leader and scoring wise and defense, everything she guys?
Well, one player doesn't change, a whole team. It's great to have great players, but we're focused on a team. So we're really, our mindset this year is everybody gets better together. Or the acronym team, together everyone achieves more. So that's what we're going for this year. We're going to just work our tails off in the gym, and we're going to compete against the teams that show up against us. You can't replace great talent, but you can encourage it. You can encourage some talent to come up. You can through leadership, through our one senior right here. She's going to do a great job this year, show these girls how to work hard. So that's where we're just going to work hard all season long.
Ladies, I mean, just talk about the season. What do you got on the bench?
I just want to accomplish building a better program, and those younger girls, they have way much more time to do it, and I want it to start now. I want to be that senior that build the molding for it, and they continue to build it up, and I want to see them go far.
Like she said, we were really trying to get the program better. I've been playing ever since junior high, and I can tell that we're really get better as a program. So that's really what I'm hoping for.
Mallory, being a part of that team last year and having that chance to potentially host a sub-regional game here at home floor and losing that game in overtime, how's that motivate you in your approach to the season?
Well, like Coach said, we're really focused not on the outcome but the process. And losing that game did teach me that it's not all about what happens in the end; it's how you get better along the way.
And Coach, you just first year, what do you want to see from this team in your first year?
Well, I think any basketball team I've ever coached at any level, I've told them the same thing from the very start. Give me great effort, give me great intensity, and then the rest of it work out. Basketball's a weird sport from the standpoint of we've seen teams just in the past. We've seen teams really peak early, and you can't. Going from trying to make that transition from football to basketball. If you're doing something where we've had some years where we were just starting basketball in December, or we were stuff like that, it's one thing. But when you're starting basketball at the 1st of November, you really gotta find a way as a coach to not peak too early. So that's kind of the message I give them, and that's why I give them a message. I can pound in other stuff where there's more X and O's and we can add stuff as the season goes along. But early on, that's really all I ask for. I've always done that with every team because I just feel like, hey, if you can get them early on, give me great effort, give me great intensity. I won't, essentially, I won't use a lot of your brain power. We won't throw 15 sets at you early on, but we are going to control that. So, and that's just kind of the mentality I've always taken. Even though it wasn't on varsity, as a head coach, that's the mentality I'm taking. And it's kind of the same way. We want to come out and, we want to be playing good after Christmas. Again, I know every game's on the schedule and we're keeping score to it, but we want to be playing our best ball after Christmas. And so I want us to play good, but I want us to gradually get better. I want it to be something where, you come and watch us in early November and then you come and watch us in early January early December and then early January, then you notice a big difference about how we're playing. Regardless of what the scoreboard says, you notice that we're just playing better. And that's my big thing. I want to get better as the year goes along. I don't care what sport it is. Our goal is to get better week by week or day by day, whatever it is. And that's really all I want to see. And we're, like I said, we're playing. You got one game in we got a 3-team area, and if we can find a way to beat Sylacauga, play Central twice, and we're in. But on paper, you would think Sylacauga is going to be the favorite there. So just like I talked about earlier, you win one game, you're in the playoffs. So we want to prepare ourselves for that game.
Man, I think it's been a decade, 9 years since Munford's made it to the region. I mean, what's your vision for this program, and where do you want to see it go?
It would be nice if we're hosting or hosting area tournaments every other year, or you want that every year. But as a coach, I try to be realistic with stuff. You want that. You want to be hosting area tournaments or at least playing in the championship games to give yourselves a chance to go to the go to playoffs and you're playing that one game to go to the regionals, and that's nice. I was very fortunate where I was before. Sachs, we had a lot of trips to the regionals over the years, and I kind of could see the same thing as far as like how we because the setup is very similar as far as a lot of our boys play football. And the same way as Sachs, a lot of our guys played football. So, we had those guys from basically August to the end of February. And so we kind of had to figure out how to, like I talked about earlier about peaking too soon, trying not to peak too soon, stuff like that. So I would hope that's where we get as a program like we were, there at Sachs. That's kind of what I want, is to get to the point where we're in playoff talk every year. We have a year where we're down, because there's some good basketball teams in some good areas that don't go to playoffs every year. But we want to get to that point where we're talking about being a playoff team every single year.
Does having the same voice in football and basketball help the team just like getting transition to a new coach?
I think so a little bit. I mean, like these two guys played for me in football. They know what to expect from me in basketball. There's a couple guys that didn't play. They might not know as much what to expect, but I think it helps with the transition. I do. It sometimes doesn't help on their end. It'd probably be nice for them to hear a different voice yelling at them sometimes. But from my end, I think it's just what I've always done. So I always had to make that quick transition from football to basketball. And to me, when you're doing it with the same guys, it just makes things a lot simpler. So.
As a coach of both the football program and basketball program, is it difficult to find that balance and knowing that you're like, as one season's going, another season's about to start, and you do things like in football that kind of serve a dual purpose, like you do conditioning drills and stuff that will help you in basketball as well?
Well, it's the one thing we preach on is being an athlete. I don't care what sport you play, we preach on being an athlete. And, these guys, the workout doesn't change. As far as our strength and conditioning program goes, that doesn't change. It doesn't matter what sport you're playing, it's not going to change. So you're going to work out to be an athlete, number one. So a lot of the strength and conditioning stuff, it's a quick transition. I mean, they're not doing anything different right now. We lifted yesterday. They're not doing anything different right now than they did during the season or during June and July. So that part of it, we preach on building athletes, not football players, not basketball players, but we preach on building athletes. And then when it's time for that sport, we're going to get out there and practice that sport. So on know if that answers your question, but for me, it's an easy transition. Now it's hard when you have to start thinking. In football, you kind of get in that every week mode of this is what I got to think about, this is what I got to do. And right there, when you get to the end of the season, you got to start ordering scorebooks, you got to start ordering towels and balls and all that kind of stuff to have it ready for whenever you do start, so you're not ordering it at the last minute. So that part can get, a little, I don't want to say time consuming, but it takes up some time when you would probably rather be, watching film or doing something else. But to me, it's not a hard transition, and mainly because I've done it for so long.
What would you two like to see in terms of being competitive in the Talladega County tournament? Being able to have a strong showing game.
Yeah, obviously last year we got put out in the very first game, so obviously that's not what we're aiming for. We're really just trying to get to a point where when teams match up with us, they got to worry about us. They got to know that we can compete against anybody, no matter what jersey they're wearing, where they're from. This year, our goal is to obviously go deep into it and try to get the championship game and compete in that game as well.
I think for me, it's kind of the same way. For years, we used the Calhoun County tournament. We want to use it to improve. Usually in a situation in county tournaments, at some point, if you win enough, you're going to get to play a really good team, which is going to help you for your region or your area play. So to me, that's use it for what you want to win it, but at the end of the day, you want to use it to get better. It might be a chance we can play somebody in it that we don't play during the regular season that's going to help us, prepare to play Clay Central or Silicaca.
Is it odd having Silicaca in that, essentially in that county tournament, having to face off against them another time in the season?
For me, I don't know about the coach, but for me, it really doesn't matter. They're really good. They're a really good program. Y'all know that. So, it don't matter when we have to play. We got to play. We got to play them. I don't care if it's County tournament or not. So they're a really good team.
Michael, I know that your area is the prime motivator issue when you're going to lose. What I've been asking guys is, I want to get your take on this, especially since you've been on the outside looking at it. Have you ever given any thought in general to Talladega County high school basketball and where it fits in a strength standpoint? When you're in Talladega County, you might play them, but you say, well, that's, you may think of that as a basketball county. I don't know what your take on that is.
Well, the thing with Talladega County, and this is from an outsider's perspective from the last 14 years, I'm going to speak from it. There was we always knew there were a couple of really, really high level teams. Now, I had some exposure to it because my dad was head basketball coach in 94, 95 Talladega. So I had a little bit of exposure to it there, and there was some good basketball going on then. So I hadn't really, a lot of people, and I know you've heard this for years, a lot of people in Calhoun County talk about the Calhoun County tournament, which is very, very prestigious, plays up at JSU. It's a big deal for a lot of people around there. And it's kind of looked at from some people around the state as a good county tournament. But here, and I just haven't seen, I haven't seen a county tournament here, so it's hard to speak on what the thought, what the thought process is or how it's thought of from outside, other than I can know from the outside. People always thought there were a couple of really good high-level teams, and of course that's, being Talladega and Silicaca.
Or do you think it's just having a decent run the last couple of years because Talladega and Silicaca's won state championships, or has it been for several years where it's been they can play some decent basketball in the county around the board just beyond those two teams? To me,
I think it's always been a thought. There's a couple of really high level teams. A lot of people. Talladega has always been looked at as a very good basketball program from the outside looking in. A team that you really don't want to match. You didn't want to match up with them in a Christmas tournament or something like that. They were always, very highly thought of. And of course, I watched it a little closer just because my dad had coached there years ago. But I just don't know enough.
Well, let me ask you this way as you look at it. There's 10 teams here, there's 15 teams in Calhoun County. You know how
I didn't even know there were 10.
Yeah, you know how good basketball in general or mediocre basketball is in Calhoun County. From what your experience is, what you've seen, Where's the
How's it
overall
compared?
Talladega basketball compared to what you know in county?
I wish I could.
Not as much, better.
Yeah, I wish I could give an answer. I just haven't seen enough, right now, other than what I played in the past. But especially the teams on the southern end, I just haven't seen, seen enough of them.